Hi, it's Mike Petoskey with CMD Wellness. Today we're continuing on our series on what is first aid according to OSHA. Section H of 1904.7 says drilling a fingernail or toenail to relieve pressure or draining fluid from a blister. What can Granny do? Could Granny drill a fingernail if you've got some blood or fluid underneath your fingernail? The answer is yeah. Typically what she would do is take a sewing needle and heat it up over a flame or on the stove and then just let the hot point of the needle melt its way through the keratin of your fingernail until it popped under the underside and would allow any fluid to drain out. The medical term for this is we trephinate the fingernail. Now, when does this happen? Typically, we have subungual hematomas if we crush our fingertip in something. Most common ones I've seen have either been in man doors walking through a building and the door closes on your fingertip, or even more common is closing a car door. Someone just has their fingers in the wrong spot when they're closing the car door and pinches the little tip of their finger, and then all of a sudden you break a little blood vessel underneath your fingernail and you get a great big purple fingernail. They're not pretty, but oh well, pretty is pretty.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty.
I've had some patients that have had these subungual hematomas and they're like, nah, doesn't hurt, don't care. And if that's the case, I won't drill them. Because as far as I'm concerned, why open up another potential route for infection? Really, the only time we need to drill these fingernails is if they're painful. And sometimes they are very painful. It's not fun. There's a couple different ways to do this. We can take an 18 gauge needle with a bevel and just kind of drill it. We just press gently on the fingernail and twist the 18 gauge back and forth at the hub until it kind of whittles its way down through the nail. That's one way. My preferred way is I like to use a little battery operated cautery, a little bovie, and just heat it up real quick and just tap it to the nail and it just goes right through, and all of a sudden you'll see this little mini geyser of little blood coming out and it'll stop after it evacuates all the blood out of there. And as soon as we do that, that patient feels immediate relief. Now at that point there's really not much else to do other than just clean it up real good, maybe a little bit of Neosporin just again prevent any infection from going down through that hole underneath the fingernail. Can we do that? Sure. And OSHA says that that's first aid. Also with blisters, Granny could definitely take a little needle and pop a blister. I don't like to pop blisters. Blisters are good as far as I'm concerned. That's the body's natural defense to making a liquid barrier between an injured part of the skin deeper in the skin and the outermost part. It gives itself a little water cushion in order to try to protect that damaged, injured area. I'm not a big fan of popping blisters. However, all blisters will pop. I try to let them pop on their own, and then once they pop, I'll clean them up. But as long as they're still intact and that skin's still intact, I try to leave that thing alone as long as it'll last. If this tip helped you, and if you'd like to learn anything more about OSHA First Aid, please follow us at cmdwellness.com.